I want to thank everybody for coming. My name is Bruce Starr. I'm a talk radio show host, for those of you who don't know me, and for the folks out in video land there. I'm so honored to be able to introduce Dr. Joel Wallach, and for so many reasons. One of the main reasons is that Dr. Joel Wallach was my first sponsor on my first radio show 25 years ago. And we sort of, not that we started together, because you were...
We bonded.
We bonded right away, and we helped build each other's reputations and businesses. You helped me. I was on the air for 2 years with you. Mm-hmm. And we found each other again at a recent expo, and it's just been great having you in my life again, and you've been so beneficial to me, being a sponsor and a supporter of my show that was on 95.9 FM. So I want to just thank you again for coming down to South Florida, and I appreciate it. I'm going to put this on you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Joel Wallach.
Thank you. I do want to correct my name, though. I am Rocky Balboa. And of course, I was an athlete in junior high and high school in the University of Missouri, and so I'm going to talk about health and fitness and exercise, if that's okay with you guys. And obviously involves a lot of musculoskeletal stuff, and we'll talk about that and energy and these kinds of things, and we'll have a Q&A sort of as we go along here. Okay, basically what makes me different is I do have a degree in agriculture. I'm a veterinarian. I have a postdoctoral fellowship, the equivalent of a PhD in pathology. And I also am a primary care physician as a naturopathic physician licensed in Oregon and California. So I have those 4 degrees. And my thesis for my project, for my postdoctoral fellowship, which encompassed University of Missouri, Iowa State University, and Washington University. And my thesis was 20,000 autopsies, 10 million chemistries, 10 million slides of special stains looking for pollution as a contributor to causes of death from natural causes. To make a long story short, the finding was that pollution had nothing to do with deaths from natural causes. Genetics had nothing to do to deaths from natural causes. Regardless of the species, all vertebrates were dealing with nutritional deficiencies. Every disease you can name, except for obviously trauma and infections and things like that, but all of the pre-existing conditions kind of things are all due to nutritional deficiencies. And that was why I got my 1,200-page thesis into a hardcover book. It's in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure, and I'm very, very proud of that. Then went on to become a primary care physician, so I could use that information to help people. Like I said, I did letter in junior high and high school and university in wrestling and football. I only weighed 110 pounds, but I had some advantages at 110 pounds in that I was taking all the known essential nutrients per pound of body weight. All vertebrates, and that came out of my study. It's the reason why my thesis, aka book, is in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. My thesis showed that all vertebrates require 90 essential nutrients, thus the 90. And the 90 essential nutrients are 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids. And if you're missing any of these, or they're less than optimal amounts, you're going to get diseases. That's what it amounts to. And this is called epigenetics. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. Your genes, DNA, RNA, and telomeres do require minerals and vitamins and amino acids and fatty acids to do their jobs, because genes, DNA, RNA, and telomeres are just blueprints. They cannot make things without the raw materials. So we get ourselves into trouble when we're deficient, and unfortunately you cannot get everything you need from your food. I don't care how well you eat, I don't care how much money you spend for food. Trying to get everything you need by eating well would be the equivalent to putting dirt from Texas, 6 quarts of dirt from Texas in your car, and assuming there's going to be some oil in that dirt from Texas because it's dirt from Texas. Now, an insane person wouldn't do that to their car, but you do that to your body all the time. I'm eating well, bam, you're dead. Okay, so it's that simple. Okay. Now, how many of you have ever heard, raise your hand, have you ever heard of that old adage, you are what you eat? Anybody ever hear that, you are what you eat? That's absolutely, positively not true. You're not what you eat. You are what you absorb. And doesn't that make more sense? Because you can eat everything right, and if it's in the septic tank's happy, but you're not getting nothing out of it, right? So you have to maximize your absorption as well as eat right, and digestion, and probiotics, and enzymes, all that kind of stuff. There's two factors going on here. There's digestion and absorption. You can digest perfectly, and it's all going out the other end digested. You're not absorbing. Or if you're not digesting, you can't absorb it because the pieces are too big, you know, kind of thing. So you need both things in optimal amounts for everything to work properly. That's why you need the 90 essential nutrients. All tissues, all systems, all organs require the 90 essential nutrients. There's no exceptions. So the biggest cause of malabsorption is gluten. 98% of all vertebrates, including human beings, are gluten intolerant. Well, I've been eating oats all my life. Well, that's why you're screwed up. Just remember, all tissues, including the brain, require 90 essential nutrients. All non-infectious, non-traumatic diseases of the brain, ADD, ADHD, autism, schizophrenia, psychoses, depression, manic depression, bipolar disease, PTSD, they're all just simple nutritional deficiencies of the brain. Unfortunately, the government doesn't give any of our military personnel in any branch of the service any vitamins or minerals. They just give them MREs, meals ready to eat, which is primarily carbohydrates to make sure they have lots of energy, and Coca-Cola. Except on Friday and Saturday night, they get free beer and whiskey. And that's why so many of them get PTSD, because they're not getting enough nutrition for the brain. So we're working with NIH to try and get the government to put the nutrients in the food of our troops. The brain and the neurological system, again, as I said, requires 90 essential nutrients. Disease you're very familiar with, the names at least: Parkinson's disease, MS, multiple sclerosis, Huntington's disease, things like Lou Gehrig's disease. They're all the same disease. It's just because different parts of the brain have more severe damage, you get different symptoms because those parts of the brains they have different functions. So they give it a different name. Oh, that baseball player had this one, we'll call it after him. Kind of thing. Okay? Well, it turns out the brain is 75% white matter, you know, the myelin, the insulation material of the brain. All vertebrates, whether you're a bat or a human being, or a snake or a turtle or a fish or a elephant or a porpoise or a whale or a turkey or a pig or a dog, all vertebrates require 90 essential nutrients for all tissues and organs, including the brain. Now, when you don't have this for the brain, you get these various diseases. Babies are being born now with MS, multiple sclerosis. They die by 2 years old of MS. The youngest person, the youngest human being born with, the youngest human being diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease is 2 years old. Wow. Because it's a physician-caused disease. Alzheimer's disease is a very simple nutritional deficiency disease. It never existed, even by another name, prior to 48 years ago. Today, it's the number 4 killer of adults in the industrialized world. Alzheimer's disease kills more people than the Nazis killed. It's a physician-caused disease. Did not exist 48 years ago. Now, this white matter of the brain that makes up 75% of the brain weight of all vertebrates is 100% cholesterol. So who told you to lower your cholesterol? Doctors. Bam! You're dead. Yeah, doctors said, you got to restrict your cholesterol. Well, people didn't want to give up eggs, so food companies came up with egg beaters. You can't have butter, so they came up with margarine. To avoid Alzheimer's disease and to repair and reverse Alzheimer's disease, which is reversible, you need to eat 8 to 10 eggs a day per 100 pounds of body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you need to eat 15 to 18 eggs a day. You weigh 200 pounds, you need to eat 20 eggs a day. You weigh 240 pounds, you need to eat 25 eggs a day. That's why egg thieves never have Alzheimer's disease. And my new CD out is called "A Stick of Butter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away." That old adage that an apple a day keeps the doctor away was actually quite wrong. Apples cause fatty livers in babies. Have you ever heard of fatty liver disease? It's kind of a precursor to liver cirrhosis.
Wow.
Well, it's actually caused by, you ever heard of foie gras? Anybody ever hear of foie gras? It's a French specialty where they feed cornmeal to geese. They actually force feed them. They take it, they ram it down their throats, and they get a fatty liver, which is the consistency of butter, and they smear it on bread. And so it's called foie gras, and it's a delicacy in France. Well, human beings, when you're eating a lot of corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, you get foie gras, you get a fatty liver, which becomes liver cirrhosis. Doctors are happy, you get to do a liver transplant and make a lot of money and everything, right?